going on? Our movie glasses on here. Welcome back to another episode. This is First Gen Dodge Garage. This is First Gen Zach. If this is your first time here at the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Lots of stuff if you like First Gens. If this is your first time at the channel, this is my D250 that we've swapped to four-wheel drive. We put a Cummins in it, we put an Nv5600 in it, we put the MP205 in it. Go back to the old videos if you want to see us converting it to four-wheel drive. Today we're going to be talking about how we put the Nv5600 behind a 12 valve. I think it's better than the G56. We've put a South Bend dual disc clutch in there. I'm going to tell you everything about how I got it in there. So crack a cold one, keep your stick on the ice. It's going to be a good episode. Alrighty, so there it is. As I mentioned, this was a D250. We swapped her over to four-wheel drive. We put the Cummins in it. And we also put this baby in there. So you're probably wondering how I did it.
Yeah.
First things first, I had to find the Nv5600. They're not cheap. I bought basically the whole kit out of a 2005. We're going to start at the back of the motor. So the first thing you need is a second gen adapter plate. Automatic or manual, it's going to work. It doesn't matter. You need the spacer that they provide for the second gen starter and the adapter plate. So you need this spacer in between. You also need the second gen starter. One thing to mention, I did have to grind the frame down a little bit for the starter. Oh yeah, and this is fucking Amazon Al from up north, ladies and gentlemen. What a beauty. We've maintained our MP205. So for those of you who don't know this, an MP205 bolts right up to the back of an Nv5600. You don't have to do anything. It'll bolt right on there. However, inside of this, inside of here, you've got to do some messing around. So I'm going to show you that right now. Okay. So we're inside the shop here. And I've got another MP205 here from an automatic W250. So if this is new information to anyone who's never done this before, but an automatic MP205 is different from a manual MP205. Let's just make that a note right now. This here is an automatic MP205. So how this mates to the Nv5600, they've got this coupler here. So what I mentioned before, this is a 23 spline MP205. So what they're referring to is the splines on the output shaft here. Sorry, it's a little dark in here, guys, but bear with me. However, you need to order a special coupler. There's a few companies that make it. I'm going to name a few right now. There is, quick tip, if you're using a manual transmission MP205, you're not going to need this special coupler that I've been mentioning. It's only for the people that are using an MP205 from an automatic transmission. There's Torque King 4x4 and Advanced adapters. Those are the two that I know of so far. I'm going to leave some links and some pictures. They're usually back ordered, so you're going to have to order it right when you see it. But those are the adapters that you need to mate the MP205 to the back of the Nv5600. So on the back of the Nv5600, there's a seal inside here on the output shaft of the transmission. And in here, there's a valley where all the oil sits. So you're gonna need to remove that seal on the transmission side. And you're probably saying, whoa, why do we need to remove that seal? So that the coupler can fit inside there. The oil that's gonna sit inside here will be the Synchro Mesh Oil 5W30 from here. It's gonna sit in this valley. But the seal here, the input seal, is gonna keep the gear oil away from the trans oil. So make sure your seal here is good, or you're gonna have a mess. And you're probably saying to yourself, wow, the shifter fits right on there. Well, no, it doesn't.
But wait, there's more.
You've got to make your own mount here. So I'm gonna leave it in the corner here, one of these corners, how we fully did it. But I'm gonna give you a quick, brief explanation how I did it here. All right, so we're gonna start from underneath the truck. So on the transmission, you got one ear there, a blank ear, and then you've got that other blank ear sticking off the side of the transmission. So I drilled 3/8 holes in that, in the ear there. And I took a piece of flat bar. Oh, I took a piece of flat bar, measured it across there. Rounded her off in the corners. Rounded her off in the corners there, so she'd sit nice. And then I went over to Beach Road Steel. I got some 3/16 plate. We shaped her. And then we bolted the automatic shifter on the side of here. I do explain all that stuff in the other video. So if you want an in-depth look, go to that other video. But you can see here. And before I forget, there's also another ear right in between there. It's shaped like a dowel. It actually is one of those. It's what they use to, I believe, tip the transmission up at the shop. So what we did was we drilled 5/16 hole, and then we tapped it to 3/8 so that the bolt could fit in there. And then we bolted her in there so she's nice and solid. And then for the rod, you can see there, you're probably saying, how's the rod hook up? Well, here we go. So that's a shifter there. We had one in the shop hanging around. So that's a shifter, obviously. And you can see the rod there, we've extended it. So what we used was, I believe that's a 1/2-inch bar, square tubing. And the 1/2-inch round, or sorry, I think 7/16 round tubing fits in there flush. And we've extended the rod. And you've got to extend the rod and maintain the angle of the rod so that it can fit in the hole. And then you need to fasten it down with a washer and a cotter pin. And you only need to bend one side of the cotter pin. Don't be one of those guys bending both sides of the cotter pin in fucking any direction. It's fucking ridiculous. That's just a first gen Zach quick tip. Bend one side of the cotter pin. Then you can reuse it for like 10 times. So we've extended this. I'll let you guys know how much we've extended it. All right, so this rod here is, call it 18 18 and a cunter. Right? And you can see this is a special note right here. Don't forget this. You see the angle of the rod. They've got it bent slightly. So don't forget that when you weld it all together, or it won't fit in the hole. So you can see we're gonna measure what we... So one quick note I wanted to make for everyone when they are taking their measurements: make sure that your transfer case is in neutral and your shift lever is also in the neutral position, so that way you can have enough throw in the rod when you make your measurement. Thanks. We've extended it to about 22 inches. Looking about right to that hole. It's kind of hard to measure, but looking about 22 inches. Obviously make your own measurements, but those are rough ideas for when you go to attempt this. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this was a two-wheel drive frame. So for anyone who's maybe doing two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive conversion, and they don't supply the middle cross member, which I didn't have, so we had to make our own cross member here for the middle. I'm gonna show you how I did that. Just for anyone who doesn't want to go, who can't find the cross member, who doesn't want to spend buku bucks for the cross member, because let's be honest, people are charging a lot for these parts now. So I'm going to show you how I made a two-wheel drive transmission cross member work for the four-wheel drive. One last thing I forgot to mention, we did a full video on this, so I'm going to put the link up in one of these corners here. Alrighty, so we're just gonna go back under the truck here. The only thing I see wrong here is that we're gonna have to run the exhaust through this side. I fucked up. See how we made this drop here? I wish I had actually rounded that in there, because we wanted to run the exhaust through there, but I'm gonna just tell the shop to run it on this side and then bring it back across. You can see here, we ran a flat piece, put our own mount on there, and brought it over. Like I said, I'd have probably done it different the next time around. We would have deleted this. We wouldn't have put that in there, but we'll make some changes for the exhaust. Alrighty guys, so that's pretty much how you're gonna get this into the truck. As for parts list and any special parts you may need. Alright, so we're ending it off here. This was just a brief video on how to get the Nv56 behind a 12 valve. I probably left out some details, but I mean, I think I covered everything. So if there's something you want to know, comment it in the comment section. I read all the comments. I'll let you know. I know there's bound to be something I forgot, so like I said, hit the like and subscribe. If there's anything you want to know, hit the comment section. Have a great day. Keep your fucking stick on the ice.